What if you could breeze through the canning season, even on the hottest days? Amish families have quietly mastered the art of summer canning using methods that are simple, effective, and designed to keep kitchens bearable. These 25 tips aren't just smart, they'll make your food last longer and your work go a lot faster. Start at sunrise. The Amish have mastered the art of beating summer heat by rising before dawn to begin their canning work. When most people are still sleeping, Amish kitchens are already bustling with activity as families prepare their day's food preservation tasks. This early morning routine keeps kitchens bearable without any air conditioning, allowing families to work comfortably while outdoor temperatures remain cool. Starting before sunrise means jars have more time to cool properly throughout the day, which significantly reduces the risk of spoilage. The cooler morning air helps the sealing process work more effectively, and families can complete their canning before the brutal midday heat makes kitchen work unbearable. This scheduling also frees up the afternoon hours for other essential farm chores like tending livestock or working in the fields. Early morning canning creates a natural rhythm that works with nature rather than fighting against it. The practice also allows families to use natural dew and humidity to their advantage while avoiding the dehydrating effects of hot afternoon sun. Use outdoor canning kitchens. Many Amish families construct separate summer kitchens or set up outdoor cooking stations specifically designed for hot weather food preservation. The Amish understand that keeping excess heat out of the main home makes the difference between a comfortable living space and a sweltering oven. These outdoor setups typically use wood-burning stoves or propane burners instead of electric ranges, giving families complete control over heat output and ventilation. Summer kitchens are like teenagers. They prefer to stay outside and make a lot of noise. Outdoor canning also allows for much larger batch processing without turning living spaces into saunas. The separate workspace prevents steam and heat from building up inside the house, where families need to sleep and relax during hot summer nights. These outdoor kitchens often feature better ventilation and airflow than indoor spaces, making the work more pleasant and efficient. Many outdoor setups include permanent features like stone counters, water access, and storage areas that make summer preservation work smooth and organized. The investment in outdoor canning space pays dividends in comfort and productivity throughout the growing season. Cold pack over hot pack. Cold pack canning methods skip the pre-cooking step for fruits and many vegetables, making them perfect for summer preservation work. The Amish prefer this technique during hot weather because it requires significantly less heat in the kitchen compared to traditional hot pack methods. This approach keeps vegetable and fruit textures noticeably crisper, which is especially important when working with fresh summer harvests that are at their peak quality. Cold packing works exceptionally well with tomatoes, peaches, and cucumbers, allowing families to preserve these heat-sensitive crops without adding unnecessary cooking time. The reduced kitchen heat makes the entire canning process more comfortable for everyone involved. Cold pack methods also help maintain the natural flavors and nutritional content of fresh produce. The technique requires careful attention to proper jar filling and processing times, but the cooler working conditions make it much easier to focus on these important details. Cold packing also reduces water usage since there's no need for pre-cooking pots and pans, making cleanup faster and easier. The method works particularly well for families who prefer firmer textures in their preserved foods and want to maintain the fresh taste of summer produce. Can in small batches more often. Rather than attempting marathon canning sessions during the hottest days of summer, Amish families break their food preservation into smaller, more manageable daily sessions. The Amish have learned that working in smaller batches reduces both physical fatigue and the risk of making mistakes that could compromise jar quality. This approach makes it much easier to maintain proper safety standards while keeping kitchen temperatures under control throughout the process. Marathon canning sessions are like bad relationships. They start with good intentions, but end with everyone exhausted and overheated. Breaking the work into smaller segments allows families to integrate canning with other essential farm tasks without overwhelming any single day. Smaller batches also mean less equipment needs to be cleaned and sanitized at one time, reducing the overall workload. This method ensures that each batch receives proper attention and care, resulting in higher quality preserved foods that will last longer in storage. Small batch canning also allows families to respond quickly to crop ripeness and weather conditions without wasting produce. The approach reduces financial risk since smaller quantities are at stake if something goes wrong with processing. It also makes it easier for family members to help without feeling overwhelmed by the scope of work. Rely on root cellars for overflow. Root cellars serve as natural cooling zones that help keep newly canned goods at stable temperatures after the sealing process is complete. The Amish designed these underground storage spaces with thick stone walls and earth insulation that maintain consistent cool temperatures even during extreme summer heat. These cellars significantly reduce the risk of spoilage from residual heat that can affect improperly cooled jars. Root cellars also provide valuable workspace during the canning process itself, offering a cool retreat where families can organize supplies and take breaks from hot kitchen work. The consistent temperature and humidity levels in root cellars make them ideal for storing both fresh produce waiting to be canned and finished jars that need time to cure properly. Many Amish families use their root cellars as staging areas where they can prepare ingredients in cool comfort before moving to the actual canning workspace. Traditional root cellar construction includes features like ventilation systems and drainage that help maintain optimal conditions year-round. The natural cooling effect can save canned goods from heat damage during unexpected temperature spikes. Root cellars also provide security against temperature fluctuations that can cause jar seals to fail or food quality to deteriorate during storage. Prioritize high-yield crops in peak heat. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and beans typically flood Amish gardens during the hottest weeks of midsummer, creating both opportunity and urgency for preservation work. The Amish strategically plan their canning schedules around these high-output crops during the most intense heat periods of the season. High-yield harvests mean families can preserve large quantities of food in fewer canning sessions, reducing the total time spent working in hot kitchens. High-yield gardens are like generous relatives at dinner. They give you way more than you can handle, but somehow you make it work. This approach speeds up the entire food preservation process and helps prevent spoilage before crops can be properly processed and stored. Focusing on high-yield crops during heat waves also allows families to take advantage of peak ripeness and flavor when fruits and vegetables are at their absolute best. The concentrated effort during peak harvest times frees up cooler days for other preservation methods and farm work. Smart crop planning also means families can dedicate their energy to processing large quantities efficiently rather than spreading effort across multiple smaller harvests. The strategy maximizes both time efficiency and food quality while minimizing exposure to extreme heat. High-yield focus also allows families to share surplus with neighbors or preserve enough food to last through multiple seasons. Use vinegar-based recipes in hot weather. Vinegar provides extra protection against harmful bacteria, making it an essential ingredient for safe canning during warm summer days. The Amish often rotate their preservation focus toward more vinegar-heavy recipes, like pickles and relishes during July and August when temperatures are highest. These acidic recipes create an environment where dangerous bacteria cannot survive, providing an extra safety margin when working in challenging hot weather conditions. Popular vinegar-based preserves include bread and butter pickles, chow chow, and colorful pepper rings that add variety to winter meals. The natural preservative qualities of vinegar allow families to can safely even when cooling conditions are not ideal. Vinegar-based recipes also tend to have longer processing times at lower temperatures, which helps keep kitchen heat more manageable. These preserved foods often improve in flavor over time, making them perfect for long-term storage in root cellars and pantries. The acetic acid in vinegar creates an inhospitable environment for botulism and other dangerous microorganisms that thrive in warm conditions. Many traditional Amish vinegar recipes have been tested over generations and proven safe under various weather conditions. Vinegar preservation also works well with vegetables that are abundant during peak summer heat, making it a practical choice for busy harvest seasons. Skip the water bath. When possible, some Amish families use inversion methods for jams and jellies that seal jars using residual heat instead of requiring additional boiling water processing. The Amish know this technique works only with high-sugar, low-moisture recipes that create naturally hostile environments for bacteria growth. This method significantly reduces stove use and kitchen heat during the hottest days of summer canning season. Inversion canning is like letting the jars do yoga. They get all twisted up, but somehow everything ends up perfectly balanced. However, this technique requires careful attention to recipe requirements and cannot be used for all types of preserved foods. The method works best with traditional jam and jelly recipes that have been tested and proven safe over generations of use. Skipping water bath processing saves both time and energy while keeping kitchen temperatures more comfortable for extended work sessions. The inversion method relies on the natural heat of freshly cooked preserves to create vacuum seals without additional processing heat. This technique works particularly well with high-sugar fruit, preserves that have natural preservation qualities. Families must ensure proper jar sterilization and filling techniques when using inversion methods to maintain food safety standards. The reduced processing time also means less steam and humidity in already warm kitchens. Shade your cooling rack. Amish kitchens feature strategically placed shaded shelves and cooling racks that keep newly sealed jars out of direct sunlight while they complete the cooling process. Proper shading prevents rubber ring failure and uneven jar settling that can compromise the integrity of preserved foods. Direct sunlight can cause rapid temperature changes that interfere with proper sealing and may lead to spoilage later in storage. Many Amish families use screened porches as makeshift cooling zones that provide protection from sun while allowing adequate air circulation. Shaded cooling areas also make it easier to monitor jars during the critical sealing period when families need to listen for the distinctive popping sound of successful vacuum seals. The consistent temperature provided by proper shading helps ensure that all jars in a batch cool at similar rates. Well-designed cooling areas can handle multiple batches throughout the day without creating workspace congestion. Proper shading also protects jar contents from UV light that can cause color fading and nutrient loss in preserved foods. Strategic placement of cooling racks near windows with northern exposure provides natural light for monitoring without direct sun exposure. The shaded environment also makes it more comfortable for family members to work nearby during the cooling process. Use smaller jars. During heat waves, pint and half-pint jars cool significantly faster than quart-sized containers, making them much safer and easier to handle during extreme summer temperatures. The Amish often downsize their jar selection during the hottest weeks of summer to reduce both cooling time and handling risks. Smaller jars are less likely to crack from thermal shock and require shorter processing times, which helps keep kitchen heat under control. Small jars during heat waves are like wearing shorts in summer. They might not cover as much ground, but they sure make life more comfortable. These smaller containers also allow for faster turnover from garden harvest to finished shelf storage, reducing the risk of spoilage during peak harvest times. Smaller jars provide better portion control for families and make it easier to use preserved foods before they lose quality. The reduced weight of smaller jars makes them much safer to handle when working in hot, potentially slippery kitchen conditions. Smaller volumes also mean faster heat penetration during processing, ensuring food safety standards are met even with shorter processing times. The quicker cooling also reduces the risk of overcooking delicate fruits and vegetables that can become mushy in extended heat. Smaller jars are also easier to fit into cooling spaces and storage areas when working with large quantities of preserved foods. Reuse heat efficiently. Rather than wasting the significant heat generated during canning, Amish families save boiling water for washing dishes, cleaning equipment, or providing warm water for farm animals. The Amish approach to heat reuse reflects their practical mindset about making the most of every resource, especially during energy-intensive preservation work. This practice reduces overall effort and saves valuable time that would otherwise be spent heating water for other household needs. Heat from canning processes can warm water for evening baths or morning coffee preparation, extending the value of fuel used for food preservation. This approach is particularly valuable in homes without running hot water systems, where heating water requires dedicated effort and planning. Efficient heat reuse also reduces the total amount of fuel needed for daily household operations. The practice demonstrates how traditional wisdom can turn necessary work into multi-purpose efficiency that benefits the entire household. Smart heat management also includes using residual heat from cooling ovens for warming small items or drying herbs and other preserved goods. The hot water from canning can also be used for cleaning vegetables for the next day's preservation work. This efficient approach reduces waste while maximizing the value of every bit of energy used in food preservation activities. Choose wide-mouth jars for faster loading. Wide-mouth jars fill much more quickly than standard jars, especially when working with soft summer produce like peaches, tomatoes, or berries. The Amish keep their kitchens well stocked with wide-mouth jars year-round because they significantly reduce the time spent hovering over hot counters during filling operations. These jars are particularly helpful when canning fruits that need to be packed carefully to maintain their shape and appearance. Wide-mouth jars are like friendly doors. They welcome everything in without making you squeeze through tight spaces. The larger opening also makes it easier to remove air bubbles and achieve proper headspace measurements that are critical for safe preservation. Wide-mouth jars require less precision during filling, which reduces stress and mistakes when working in hot, rushed conditions. The time savings from faster loading can be substantial when processing large batches of seasonal produce. The wider opening also makes it easier to clean jars thoroughly before and after use, ensuring better sanitation standards. Wide-mouth designs also allow for easier removal of preserved foods when jars are open for use. The reduced filling time means less exposure to hot steam and kitchen heat during the most intensive parts of the canning process. Pre-sanitize in bulk. Jars receive thorough cleaning in large batches the night before canning day, which significantly reduces preparation time and kitchen heat during actual preservation work. The Amish often boil jars in large outdoor kettles or galvanized tubs that can handle dozens of containers simultaneously. This advanced preparation keeps the canning workflow smooth and cool by eliminating one major heat-generating step from the actual preservation day. Pre-sanitizing also allows families to inspect jars carefully for chips, cracks, or other defects that could cause sealing problems. Clean, ready-to-use jars can be stored in clean baskets or on sanitized shelves until needed for canning work. This preparation method ensures that jars are properly heated and sterilized without adding unnecessary heat to an already warm kitchen. The advanced work also provides flexibility in timing, allowing families to adjust their canning schedule based on weather forecasts and crop readiness. Bulk sanitizing also means families can take advantage of cooler evening temperatures to complete this heat-intensive task. The method allows for better organization since all jars are ready when needed, eliminating delays during peak canning times. Pre-sanitized jars can also be kept warm in low ovens or insulated containers, maintaining proper temperatures without generating additional kitchen heat on canning day. Store sealed jars in baskets. Traditional wicker or wooden baskets provide safe transport for cooling jars while protecting hands from burns and preventing breakage during high-heat canning days. The Amish rely on these practical containers to move hot jars from processing areas to cooling zones without risking injury or product loss. Baskets allow for faster transfer of completed jars to root cellars or storage areas where they can finish cooling in ideal conditions. Canning baskets are like good friends. They carry your burdens without complaining and never drop you when things get hot. These containers also provide organization during busy canning sessions, helping families keep track of different batches and processing times. Traditional basket construction allows air circulation around jars while protecting them from accidental bumps or temperature shocks. The portability of baskets makes it easy to move jars to the best cooling locations as conditions change throughout the day. Well-made baskets can last for generations and handle the weight of multiple full jars without breaking or warping. The natural materials used in basket construction provide insulation that helps moderate temperature changes during transport. Baskets also stack efficiently, making it easier to organize large quantities of cooling jars in limited space. Ventilate with cross breezes. Amish home design emphasizes natural airflow through strategically placed windows and doors that create powerful cross breezes to push heat from canning work out of living spaces. The Amish understand that proper ventilation is essential when mechanical fans are not available to cool hot kitchens during preservation work. Windows and doors positioned directly across from each other create natural draft patterns that can significantly reduce kitchen temperatures during intensive canning sessions. This ventilation strategy works best when combined with early morning canning schedules that take advantage of cooler outdoor air temperatures. Cross ventilation also helps remove excess moisture and steam that can make hot kitchens feel even more uncomfortable. The natural airflow helps maintain proper humidity levels that are important for successful jar sealing and food safety. Effective ventilation can make the difference between tolerable working conditions and dangerous heat exposure during extended preservation sessions. Traditional Amish home construction includes features like transom windows and door positioning that maximize natural airflow throughout the house. The cross-breeze effect also helps prevent heat buildup in adjacent rooms, keeping the entire home more comfortable during intensive cooking periods. Proper ventilation design can reduce indoor temperatures by 10 to 15 degrees compared to poorly ventilated spaces. Prep all produce in advance. Vegetables and fruits receive complete preparation during cool evening hours or early morning before kitchen temperatures rise from canning activities. The Amish have learned that cooler hands and tools make detailed preparation work much easier and more pleasant than working during peak heat hours. Advanced preparation significantly reduces active canning time and helps keep finished jars cleaner by eliminating rushed or sloppy filling techniques. Preparing vegetables ahead of time is like doing homework on Friday night. It feels like extra work until Saturday morning when everyone else is scrambling. This approach also allows families to work at a comfortable pace without the pressure of hot kitchens and time constraints. Pre-prepared ingredients can be stored in cool locations until needed, maintaining quality and freshness throughout the canning process. The advanced work speeds up the actual sealing process and reduces the time spent in hot kitchen conditions. Evening preparation also allows families to involve children and elderly members who might not tolerate hot kitchen conditions well. The cooler working conditions make it easier to maintain high standards for cleanliness and food safety during preparation. Advanced preparation also helps families identify any quality issues with produce before committing to the canning process. Skip the oven for sterilizing. Ovens generate excessive heat that affects entire rooms, so Amish families avoid them completely during summer sterilization work in favor of outdoor boiling or stovetop methods. The Amish prefer boiling water sterilization that can be done outside or on stovetops where heat can be better controlled and directed away from living spaces. This approach keeps kitchens significantly cooler and safer while still achieving proper sterilization standards for food safety. Outdoor sterilization is particularly common with propane stove setups that can be positioned for optimal heat management and ventilation. Stovetop sterilization also provides better control over timing and temperature compared to oven methods that can overheat jars and cause thermal shock. The focused heat from boiling water sterilization is more efficient and uses less total energy than heating large oven chambers. This method also allows for continuous sterilization of jars as they are needed rather than processing large batches that may cool before use. Boiling water sterilization can be done in large outdoor kettles that handle many jars simultaneously without heating indoor spaces. The method also allows families to use the same hot water for initial jar heating and final processing steps. Steam from outdoor sterilization dissipates naturally without creating uncomfortable indoor humidity levels. Stick to the schedule. Amish families follow carefully planned seasonal charts that prevent kitchens from becoming overwhelmed during heat spikes by distributing preservation work throughout the growing season. The Amish organize their canning into specific periods like tomato week, pickle week, and bean week that align with natural harvest cycles and weather patterns. This systematic approach allows for better pacing and cooler workflow by avoiding the need to preserve multiple crops simultaneously during the hottest days. A good canning schedule is like a well-planned vacation. Everything runs smoothly when you know where you're going and when you need to be there. Scheduled preservation also allows families to prepare properly for each type of food, ensuring they have the right supplies and recipes ready when needed. The organized approach prevents food waste by matching preservation timing with peak ripeness and quality. Well-planned schedules also allow families to take advantage of cooler weather periods for the most heat-intensive preservation work. Seasonal scheduling helps families budget time and resources more effectively throughout the growing season. The planned approach also allows for better coordination of family labor and ensures that essential preservation work doesn't conflict with other farm activities. Consistent scheduling helps families develop efficient workflows and timing that improve each year. Use wood cook stoves with summer chimneys. Summer chimney systems direct heat outdoors rather than allowing it to build up inside homes, and Amish families adjust their stove configurations seasonally for optimal heat management. The Amish have developed smart design modifications passed down through generations that allow wood cook stoves to function efficiently while minimizing indoor heat buildup. These seasonal adjustments can include damper modifications, pipe redirections, or temporary chimney extensions that improve heat evacuation during hot weather. Summer chimney configurations also improve draft and combustion efficiency, which reduces the total amount of fuel needed for cooking and canning operations. The ability to direct heat outdoors makes wood cook stoves practical even during the hottest summer days when other heating methods would make kitchens unbearable. These traditional design elements demonstrate how practical engineering can solve modern comfort problems without relying on electric cooling systems. Summer chimney modifications can reduce indoor heat buildup by 40 to 60% compared to standard winter configurations. The improved ventilation also helps maintain better air quality during intensive cooking and canning sessions. Traditional summer chimney designs often include adjustable dampers that allow families to fine-tune heat direction based on weather conditions and cooking needs. Let gravity drain jars, post-wash. Sloped racks and angled drying boards allow gravity to drain wash jars completely without requiring towel drying that adds effort and reduces sanitation quality. The Amish designed these draining systems to work efficiently while keeping the jar preparation process hands-free and hygienic. Gravity draining eliminates the contamination risk that comes from using towels or cloths that may harbor bacteria or leave lint residue on clean jars. Gravity draining jars is like having a reliable employee. It works steadily without supervision and never calls in sick. This approach also allows jars to air dry naturally while cooling to proper temperatures for filling, creating a smooth workflow from washing to canning. Sloped racks can accommodate large numbers of jars simultaneously, making them ideal for bulk preparation sessions. The hands-free draining process frees workers to focus on other preparation tasks while jars dry safely and sanitarily. Well-designed gravity draining systems can handle different jar sizes and shapes without requiring adjustment or supervision. The natural drying process also helps prevent water spots and mineral deposits that can affect jar appearance and sealing performance. Traditional draining racks often include drainage channels that direct water away from work surfaces to prevent slipping hazards. Picked during cooler hours, early morning harvests reduce fruit bruising and mold development while ensuring that produce stays firm and fresh for processing later in the day. The Amish typically complete their picking, washing, and sorting tasks before breakfast to take advantage of cool air and higher humidity levels. Morning harvesting prevents heat stress in fruits and vegetables that can lead to rapid deterioration and increase spoilage during preservation work. Cooler harvesting conditions also make the physical work more comfortable and allow families to assess crop quality more accurately. Early picking ensures that produce maintains peak ripeness and nutritional content throughout the preservation process. Morning harvests also provide flexibility in daily scheduling, allowing families to adjust canning timing based on weather forecasts and kitchen conditions. Fresh, cool produce processes more easily and safely than crops that have been stressed by heat and sun exposure. Early morning picking also reduces water loss in fruits and vegetables, helping them maintain proper texture during preservation. The cooler conditions make it easier to handle delicate produce without damage from heat or excessive handling. Morning harvest timing also allows families to complete picking before the heat makes outdoor work uncomfortable or dangerous. Label as you cool. Writing labels while jars complete their cooling process prevents forgotten batches and eliminates mystery contents that can waste preserved food later in storage. The Amish take advantage of the warm air during cooling to help ink dry faster and create permanent, legible labels. This timing also ensures that families accurately record important information like processing dates, contents, and any special recipe variations while details are fresh in memory. Labeling jars during cooling is like naming pets while they're still cute. You remember all the important details before time makes everything fuzzy. Immediate labeling also helps families track heat-sensitive batches that may need special attention or monitoring during storage. Clear labels make it easier to organize preserved foods in storage areas and plan meals throughout the winter months. The practice also helps identify any processing problems or recipe adjustments that may be needed for future preservation sessions. Proper labeling during cooling ensures that important information is recorded while processing details are still fresh in mind. The warm, dry air during cooling helps ink set properly and prevents smudging that can make labels illegible later. Good labeling practices also help families track which preservation methods work best for different crops and conditions. Avoid electric pressure canners. Stovetop and manual pressure methods reduce heat spread across kitchens while eliminating dependence on electrical power that may be unreliable during peak summer demand periods. The Amish rely on traditional pressure canning equipment that provides complete control over heat output and timing without adding unnecessary electrical load to kitchen systems. Manual pressure systems also operate more quietly than electric models, creating a more peaceful working environment during long preservation sessions. These traditional methods allow canning to continue even during power outages that are common during summer storms and high electrical demand periods. Stovetop pressure canning also provides better heat distribution and more precise pressure control than many electric units. The reduced energy consumption of manual methods aligns with sustainable practices while maintaining the safety standards required for low-acid food preservation. Traditional pressure canning methods also allow families to adjust heat levels more precisely based on altitude and specific recipe requirements. Manual systems require less maintenance and are generally more durable than electric models with complex electronic controls. The ability to maintain consistent pressure manually also provides better results for many traditional preservation recipes. Stovetop methods also allow families to use multiple pressure canners simultaneously when processing large harvests. Stick to high-acid fruits in mid-season. Tomatoes, berries, plums, and cherries contain natural acids that provide extra safety margins against spoilage when canning during the hottest weather periods. The Amish focus their mid-season preservation efforts on these naturally acidic foods because they are inherently safer to process when cooling conditions may not be ideal. High-acid fruits can often be processed using cold-pack methods that require less kitchen heat while still achieving safe preservation standards. High-acid fruits are like good sunscreen. They provide natural protection when conditions get tough and dangerous. These fruits also maintain better flavor and texture when processed during peak ripeness in midsummer heat. The natural acidity in these crops provides protection against dangerous bacteria, even if processing conditions are slightly compromised by extreme temperatures. Focusing on high-acid fruits during the hottest weeks also allows families to save more challenging low-acid preservation work for cooler weather periods. High-acid fruits also tend to process more quickly, reducing the time spent working in hot kitchen conditions. The natural preservation qualities of acidic fruits mean they often improve in flavor during storage, making them ideal for long-term preservation. Many high-acid fruits also require less sugar for safe preservation, reducing costs and preparation time during busy harvest periods. Involve the whole family. Dividing preservation tasks among children, adults, and elders speeds up the entire process while reducing individual heat exposure during intensive canning sessions. The Amish approach to family canning transforms necessary work into valuable bonding time that teaches important life skills while getting essential preservation work completed efficiently. Tasks like shelling beans, chopping vegetables, and loading jars can be shared among family members of different ages and abilities. Shared work also allows for better supervision of safety procedures and quality control standards that are critical for successful food preservation. Family involvement provides natural breaks in rotation that prevent any individual from becoming overheated or exhausted during long preservation sessions. The social aspect of shared work makes difficult tasks more enjoyable, and helps maintain family traditions and knowledge transfer between generations. Family canning also teaches children valuable skills in food safety, planning, and resource management that benefit them throughout their lives. The shared workload allows families to process larger quantities more efficiently while maintaining high-quality standards. Involving multiple generations also ensures that traditional knowledge and techniques are preserved and passed down effectively. The teamwork approach also provides built-in quality control as family members check each other's work throughout the preservation process. While the heat can make canning feel overwhelming, the Amish remind us that a little planning goes a long way. These tips prove you don't need modern cooling to preserve your harvest. You just need smart habits, simple tools, and a rhythm that respects the season.